Hello, I'm Miss Caps and I'm the visual arts teacher here at LFMS. Welcome. This video is an orientation for students and parents to let you know how the class will be run and what you need to be successful in art class. This year is going to be different, obviously, as we are starting virtually. I wish more than anything that I could have you in my classroom for face-to-face instruction, but since that is not possible at this time, I want to provide the best virtual learning experience that I can. We will be using Canvas, our learning management system, to complete our class. All of you should have an iPad, which you can use for accessing Canvas to complete assignments. You can even create art directly on your iPad. If you haven't gotten the school iPad yet, I strongly recommend that you do so as soon as possible. You can access Canvas from other devices, but it is easier from the school iPad. Also, there are apps available on the school iPads that may not be available on other devices or that you may have to pay for on other devices. When you open Canvas, you should be able to see our class, Visual Arts, on your dashboard. If you're not sure how to get there, check out my webpage for advice on how to log on to Canvas. If that does not work, please contact me as soon as possible. I will be available via email or via Remind. Please make sure that your parents join our Remind group so that we can communicate most effectively. I would be happy to call and talk to any parents directly as well if needed. Please check the website for all my contact information. Now, even though we are going to be meeting virtually, I will still be taking attendance, and you are expected to keep up with your work and keep in contact with me every school day. We will meet online using Google Meet during our regularly scheduled class time on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. I will have a link for it every day in Canvas, and I will send it out on Remind daily. On Wednesday, I will meet with small groups for those students that need extra help. However, all of you are expected to log on to Canvas every school day, even Wednesday, to check for messages and assignments. Your attendance will be tied to this, so please be sure to log on. If you can't meet at the regular class time for some reason, please have your parents contact me about it as soon as possible. I will help you in every way that I can, but I need to know what is going on to be able to help. We will talk more about the online learning and how to do it during our first few class meetings. We will also talk about behavior expectations for virtual learning during those class meetings. One of the cool things this year is that we have some really nice art apps available on your school iPads. I usually use Sketchbook for iPad art. It's a good free app, but I was very excited to see that we now have the Adobe art apps. These are top quality art apps. I will definitely be teaching you about some of these and trying to incorporate them into some lessons. However, the best way to make art when you're learning the basics is to use real supplies. So let me show you the basic supplies you need to have at home. Now, if you can't get these supplies, please contact me and I will assist you with alternatives. I want to help you in any way that I can. These are the basic minimum supplies that you need for the class in order to be able to complete all the projects. The unlined paper is for drawing or painting. It's like copy or print paper. The lined paper is for your written work. A box of crayons of at least 16 colors. That would give you all the colors of the color wheel. A pencil with an eraser. And if you want to do the painting project, you could get a watercolor paint tray. If you want to do the 3D project, you could get a glue stick and scissors. Some of this you may already have around your house. If you can't get these supplies, please contact me and I will do whatever I can to help you. These are some of the additional supplies that you could get if possible. The paint pad is a thicker paper that is good for painting on, and the colored pencils and markers are just good to have variety when you're doing your drawings. A ruler is always helpful, and some additional paint brushes, because the paintbrush that usually comes with the watercolor tray is not that great. So this is the paintbrush that usually comes with the watercolor paint trays, and it's all right, but it's not great. So if you wanted to get some kind of different paintbrushes, or you may already have some around your house, This is the paint pad. This one was about $3.97, I think. It's got 20 sheets, and that just has a thicker paper for painting on. But you can paint on the regular paper if you want to. You can get a larger box of crayons. That's always good if you want to have more color options. Just be sure, I know some people do not like using crayons, so if you would rather use colored pencils instead for most of your projects, make sure you get a colored pencil box that has all the colors of the color wheel. Usually the 24 pack or an 18 pack if you can find it, but most of the ones I saw were 24 pack. A lot of this stuff they're having pretty good sales on during back to school time. Now, as far as what brand of supply to buy, that's a personal choice. However, if you ask me for a recommendation, I would recommend either the Crazy Art or the Crayola brand. Crayola and Crazy Art both have fairly good quality for a reasonable price. The Crazy Art brand is quite a bit less expensive than Crayola, but they're both still reasonably priced. The only difference that I found between them is that the Crazy Art supplies are not quite as dark and are a little more likely to smudge. As far as the paints go, I do still recommend the Crayola, usually in the paints, but I did try out a brand called Go Create from Walmart that also is pretty good. That's the Go Create right there. So really anything that you can get to work. The only thing that I would not recommend is buying the Rose Art crayons or some of the really off-brand crayons because they don't put good color on the page. They're too waxy and the color doesn't transfer to the page very well. Other than that, it's pretty much whatever you want to buy, whatever's cheapest. So if you take a look at this coloring sheet that I colored, I used the Crayola crayons and colored pencils and the Crazy Art crayons and colored pencil, and you really can't tell any difference between them unless you look really closely. This is the Crazy Art crayons up here and the Crazy Art colored pencils. And over here is the Crayola colored pencils and the Crayola crayon. And there's just not a big difference between them. So whichever one you want to buy or anything that you want to buy is fine. Okay, that's it. If you have any further questions, just contact me at my email, ccapps@liberty.k12.ga.us, or contact me through Remind. And I hope that you create something wonderful. Thank you.